What you think is clean energy might not be clean after all. This is what powers the future. But what's the real cost for it?
While electric vehicles' total emissions are still lower than their petrol and diesel equivalents, when you consider the humanitarian and environmental impacts from their manufacturing processes, it leaves us with some difficult questions about the transition to EVs.
If you want the full picture on climate change, renewable energy, and the backlash it's creating, check out my climate change episode. The EV boom is real. Sales have exploded. Governments are racing to subsidize production and build charging stations, pushing for cleaner air, climate targets, and a foothold in the next big tech economy. Berlin, Beijing, and Oslo, they're all in. But there's a catch. Actually, there are several. To keep this momentum going, we're going to need a lot more lithium, cobalt, and nickel. Like 51 times more lithium than we currently produce.
It's ignited a global lithium surge in demand, which is expected to reach nearly 2.5 million metric tons by 2028.
And that kind of demand, it doesn't come without consequences, because those minerals aren't sitting under suburban driveways. They are pulled from places already carrying the weight of the world. Let's go to the Atacama Desert. It's one of the driest places on Earth and one of the richest in lithium.
When it comes to the global lithium market, Chile and the Atacama salt flats are at the epicenter.
But to extract lithium from the brine, you need water. A lot of it, 500,000 gallons per ton in a desert. As mining expands, local water has dried up. Desalination was promised. But most of that water goes back to the mines, not the people who need it. And it's not just the water.
The Atacama salt flat is sinking at a rate of 1 to 2 centimeters per year.
Lithium extraction also leaves behind chemical waste. In Argentina and Bolivia, once quiet salt flats are now filled with trucks and heavy machinery. Roads are carved into the desert, and the land is now surrounded by noise, pipelines, and processing zones.
It's not just water. The extraction process involves a cocktail of chemicals like sulfuric acid and sodium hydroxide, which can leach into the soil and water, poisoning ecosystems and threatening species that call the salt flat their home.
Then there is cobalt, found mostly in Congo. What we don't see in the ads is the ground truth. Kids digging through rock with bare hands, crawling into narrow tunnels, hoping they make it out. No gloves, no protection, just risk and the hope of earning enough to eat that day.
This is one of the thousands of unregulated, unmonitored mines in the DRC.
Companies like Tesla and Apple say they are cleaning up their supply chains. But watchdogs say 3 out of 4 battery suppliers are still tied to labor abuses. Whole communities have sprung up around the mines without clean water, without schools, and without access to basic health care.
In the DRC, around 40,000 children are thought to work in illegal mines like this one.
Entire towns rely on the same mineral they'll never use, digging it out for someone else's battery while living in homes without electricity.
This island was once covered in forest. Now it's being transformed into a global hub for nickel, a metal crucial for making electric vehicle batteries.
In Indonesia, nickel is fueling an economic boom and environmental collapse. Nickel waste is pouring into rivers. Coral reefs are fading, villagers are falling ill, but the nickel keeps flowing and the world keeps buying.
Nickel industry shows no signs of slowing down. It continues to attract tens of thousands of workers from across the country, even if the jobs could kill them.
Entire coastal communities have lost access to clean fish and water. Polluted runoff is clouding coral beds, and the health impacts are starting to show.
Levels of metals like nickel, copper, and chrome were found to be well above the legal limits, according to a university study published in 2023, impacting fish reproduction. NGOs accuse the nickel sector of large-scale deforestation in the country.
We always talk about where minerals come from, but almost never about where they go next.
Before lithium ends up in all of these, it first has to be processed in refineries like this one.
Refining is the part no one wants to deal with. It's messy, it's toxic, and it ruins the air and water around it. That's why it happens out of frame. China didn't just accept that role, it turned it into strategy.
You need a lot of energy for refining. And you also need the stomach because it's a little bit of a sort of dirty thing to do. China manufactured a lot of these appliances, just got interested in it and got good in it.
Own the refining, shape the supply, and set the pace. Because if you control refining, you don't just handle logistics. You decide who gets batteries and who doesn't, who pays more and who moves faster. So when we say the minerals are from Chile or Congo, that's not the whole picture. The real decisions about who profits, who pays, and who gets left behind happen somewhere else.
People's Republic also oversees some 62% of global cobalt production and around 2/3 of graphite production, both essential components of lithium-ion batteries. But in terms of just lithium, it isn't only the mining rights China has been snapping up. Processing, turning that raw lithium into useful products like batteries, is also dominated by China, with some 73% of global battery manufacturing capacity currently situated in the People's Republic.
As demand for EVs explodes, companies and governments are racing to secure supply. Behind the scenes, it's a frenzy of mining deals, land grabs, and fast-tracked approvals. Everyone wants a slice of the next big boom.
The global average time frame for getting a mine up and running is 18 years, and it's 29 in the US. The business case for such an operation is harder to make when a single country can flood the world market with cheap product.
The demand for batteries has skyrocketed, and with it, the pressure to dig. Projects are being approved faster, and local voices are often left out of the conversation. In Serbia, protesters have stalled major lithium mining plants, accusing foreign companies of threatening their land and water without proper consultation.
Projects up can be tricky. In Serbia, protesters are trying to stop Rio Tinto developing what would be Europe's biggest lithium mine.
In Portugal, similar fears have sparked fierce protests. Locals pushing back against projects they say endanger water, land, and heritage.
What if everything ran on gas? Then again, what if everything didn't? The 100% electric, zero-gas Nissan Leaf. Innovation for the planet. Innovation for all.
You've seen the commercials, electric cars gliding through forests, all clean curves and soft lighting. But they never show what came before the showroom. Meanwhile, the earth gets scrapped up to build it, and most brands still can't trace their minerals.
And in Latin America, Mexico and Chile are also tightening control, while Chile, Bolivia, and Argentina are discussing creating a lithium cartel.
This isn't just a race for batteries, it's a race to set the rules. Some countries are pushing for more than just extraction. The EU is signing fast-track deals. The US is throwing cash at subsidies. Others are trying to take more control over what happens to their minerals. But while all these announcements make headlines, Companies are locking in 10 to 15-year supply contracts before most communities even hear what's coming.
China scrambling to secure new sources of lithium to meet expected demand overshot, opening too many extracting facilities too quickly.
It's not just who owns the minerals. It's who controls the terms, who benefits, and who gets told it's already too late to object. As of the filming of this episode, there's a new race unfolding, one that's not just about lithium or cobalt anymore. Battery technology is shifting fast. Vanadium, graphite, and sodium. These new chemistries are being tested, promoted, and in some cases, protected.
Vanadium, relatively abundant in the US, especially around Utah, could do the same job as lithium, more cheaply.
China has already started playing defense. In July 2025, they announced new export restrictions on graphite and vanadium, two materials critical to next-generation battery performance.
Vanadium is still a bit speculative at the moment, however, and lithium-ion technology will be with us a long time yet.
By holding their position while other countries scramble to catch up, they are effectively using leverage to their advantage. Even as we look toward alternatives to lithium and cobalt, the same imbalance is being set up all over again.
In many cases, China has leveraged the instability of South American governments to its advantage, dangling its checkbook in the face of nations struggling under the yoke of hyperinflation and internal political strife.
If this whole story feels unbalanced, it's because it is. The green revolution isn't equally green for everyone. Some countries get clean air, others lose their water. Some drive the future, others dig for it. This isn't about whether EVs are good or bad. It's about how we make them and who pays for it. Better tech means better values. And if this future is worth building, it should work for more than just the people driving it. So where does that leave us? Electric cars aren't a scam, but building them the way we are, fast, quiet, and out of sight, is creating new problems while pretending to solve old ones. What we need isn't just innovation. We need responsibility. Battery recycling, public transport, local production, transparency that actually means something. None of it is perfect, but it's better than pretending this version of clean is good enough. Thanks for watching.